Now, as Ghana enters a 2-week lockdown as part of our efforts to help contain COVID-19, sister nation Nigeria has also taken a similar action. Parts of the country, including Lagos and Abuja, are also under a partial lockdown. Let's get to Nigeria now and speak with Assistant Managing Editor for Premium Times in Nigeria, Ini Ekot, for an update of the situation. Good afternoon, Ini.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ima.
All right, so tell us, which parts of Nigeria have been affected by the lockdown and how is it affecting livelihoods and businesses?
Three states currently. The lockdown is affecting Abuja, which is the federal capital. It's also affecting Lagos, and this next door to Lagos, which is a state. Those are the two states that the president on Sunday posed a lockdown. We also have several other states on lockdown led by the governors of those respective states. I'm sure, as you know, currently Nigeria has 170 cases of coronavirus and two discharged cases. Effectively, the entire country is a lockdown.
All right, so in Ghana, some categories of workers have been exempted from this partial lockdown. Is it the same in Nigeria?
Yeah, sure. It is the same. Those carrying out essential activities like healthcare workers, security operatives, media personnel, journalists, they are exempted, and people who are delivering other necessary services like those operating pharmacies, food stores, and the rest. They are also exempted from lockdown.
Right. So what is movement like? Are people able to go out, easily to get food?
As of now, the lockdown declared by the president is supposed to be like a total lockdown. People had a day on Monday to make some preparation. They are expected to remain indoors next week. So people are not expected to go out. And I can tell you, the compliance level is very high. I think not necessarily because of the enforcement, a higher level of awareness is involved. So people have chosen to stay indoors. But in case of emergency, people have the ability to go out.
Now, Ini, let's look at the impact of the COVID-19 as a whole on Nigeria's economy. How is it impacting so far? How has it impacted so far?
Yeah, it's huge. I would say it's huge. The implication, I start first on the business side. Businesses have been locked down primarily because of two factors. People are not able to go out to open their stores. Even if they do, of course, there will be no one to buy. And secondly, which is very important as well, the issue of supply chain. A lot of Nigerian businesses derive their supplies, their stock from countries heavily affected by the coronavirus. And number one amongst them is China. I can tell you the impact is very huge. That a little thing like drinking water, the sachet water that it's called pure water here, really affected because that's the polythene that they use in wrapping the water is shipped in from China. So it's causing some kind of shortage in respect of drinking water. So that's on the business side. Then the bigger perspective impact on the economy. Government is suffering significant revenue shortfall because of the impact on oil industry. There is no one to buy oil, and Nigeria depends very heavily on oil on its programs, projects. So the budget benchmark here was set $57, but as we speak to you, the oil price has gone down below $20 in some cases. So it's a real problem for the country in terms of being able to finance infrastructure projects, even being able to confront the threat of the coronavirus. So there have been responses, of course. The government has taken some measures, fiscal measures, and also monetary measures to respond. The Central Bank of Nigeria has injected excess to the economy, and the finance ministry has reduced the benchmark of oil. So it's a problem for now, but we are just looking at things unfold.
All right, so let's still stay within the petroleum industry. In the downstream sector, because the crude oil prices on the international market have gone down significantly. Has it translated into prices on the downstream sector?
Interestingly, the government has responded in respect of the downstream by using the price of fuel, petrol here in Nigeria, from 145 naira a liter. The government used to initially 125 naira a liter, and so the price went down further by at 1 naira 50 kobo. That's down to 125.50 kobo a liter. So it's something that's interesting. It doesn't happen all the time. I don't know if you know, Nigeria spends a money to subsidize. So sometimes, regardless of the fluctuations in the international market, it does not really translate on downstream set in the country. But this time there's a difference. So I can say that there is that translation from international cost to the downstream costs in Nigeria.
All right, so aside from what you mentioned earlier, what other measures has the government been putting in place to mitigate the impact of these challenges on the Nigerian economy?
The CBN, like I said, the central bank injected in excess of 1 trillion naira. As a matter of fact, some sources we are hearing 3 trillion. And there is some up to 50 billion naira released by the bank to aid small-scale farmers and small businesses to adapt to the challenge of pandemic. And there's also a moratorium on loans that were issued by the bank. So facilities, the farming sector, and other areas, the central bank has asked beneficiaries not to hastily pay up their expectations. They have up to like 3 months more to pay. So I think the government has responded fairly well by trying to provide palliative for the citizens. There is also direct payment to the most vulnerable. So yesterday, I understand that the government minister in charge of humanitarian affairs were paying up to 20,000 to households that the government considers most vulnerable. Now, the challenge with that, as many Nigerians have expressed, is people believe that there are so many in need of this kind of thing, they don't have a way of getting them. Basically, there is little data to really help the government direct this funding in the direction that is most needed. So it's not so clear yet how the government is taking the decision on knowing where to apply the funding. But I think there is effort in that.
All right. Thank you very much, Eni Ekot, for that update. Eni Ekot is the assistant managing editor of Premium Times newspaper in Lagos, Nigeria.